How we doing? Cheers, everyone. Happy Sunday. And let's go on the chart right away. Mid-picture stuff. Let's remove that for the beginning. But I think even on Thursday, right, we've looked at the good things. Thursday we were looking at if we were turning this zone right into support or if we're gonna go for it. If I remember well, we were right away there and we were fucking in low volumes, right, on a big volumes level. When we break it, we need it's not low, but it's mid volumes, right? It's not the big volumes that we seen that broke volumes level, right, in the past for last week, right? And we turn it into support because basically we've not broke it with some volumes. We've not turned it into support resistance, my bad. We've just hold it yet. But as we speak on Sunday, we could have fuck around here, right? And go for even a bigger picture, right? Let me delete that shit. But a bigger picture triangle or whatever the fuck they're gonna try to do, right, in it. But what I'm gonna definitely consider is value. Yeah, value area I of our old range A there on the mid picture, but definitely the volume node too. So if we just go and we're gonna look at it when we're gonna look at the mid picture, at the smaller picture, my bad. But yep, I'm gonna definitely respect that volume node with the value area. Depending on what we do, right? If we turn it into resistance or if we go for it and turn it into supports, right? I think this is just for live, and it was still my plan for Thursday. You know, nothing's since Thursday. Nothing's really got changed there since weekend stuff. But for this week, just before looking at all of this, let me make sure I'm connected on my stuff. Yup. And I want to look, watch out for the flashbang, but calendar stuff. And you guys know, right, which places I'm expecting some vola, right? We speak about it, I think, last week and 2 weeks ago too, but the FOMC, right? June FOMC. Um, June FOMC can line up pretty well with a good time spent in that consolidation to give us a bit of vola to give us the bias, right? But for this week, are we get something crazy? Right now we have absolutely nothing, right? No volumes, nothing else, and this is big. This is becoming big. So staying here, definitely on yeah, me opening, definitely on the tomorrow. It's gonna be interesting. Gonna be interesting. You remember when we were speaking about like this? It's really gonna be interesting if we don't it's gonna be pretty interesting. It's gonna be more smaller picture stuff because in reality, if I'm looking at our old move, I'm pretty sure 63K is gonna come back, right? Yeah. You guys remember 63K from last week? Gonna be the same thing again, I think, for this range, right? It's either we go the fuck for it, um, and we turn it into support and we go. Really to go clear those eye, but the most important one from this to this didn't get cleared, so this is considered there. because this got clear, but this wasn't the low. This was the low on big. Oh, yep. I didn't even change yellow lines or whatever. It's still the same thing, you know. Just by looking at it real quick in terms of structure to really higher one. And in terms of volumes, it's still gonna be the same things again, you know, like it's really gonna be, oh, are we breaking that 67k 68k zone with volumes, or really we've turned it into support and we can finally go for it? But the stairway to hell, until they aren't clear for me, I'm definitely gonna look at this zone. If this zone gonna turn into resistance, definitely after that we go back to level that we were looking at couple weeks ago, right? I don't want to delete all of that. But yep, and it's true that for me we can maybe accelerate a bit, but not really leave that range, you know. Like going for the full spring, Mr. Kazi. I'm sure you. I see you've posted on the Discord for the distribution, or either going for the full rotation at minimum. And if it's not that, because this will line up with a probable one, bigger one that we're looking at, our bigger picture, yeah. Yeah. Lining up with our bigger one, right, on the bigger picture, if this is the one or of Elliot's. And lining up if it's a bigger, you know, like thing like that. For the mid picture. If it's the plane down, it's definitely the zone of confluence, 63k, 62k ish, that we've looked at couple of week ago too, right? And if we go for lower, in reality, the last point to hold was kind of the point of control. But at this point, if we leave the range again, if we leave this range volumes again and we turn it into support, into resistance, I'm gonna be the guy that's gonna really look at lower level. Especially, yeah. Hey, shout out! I just seen in the chat, but shout out Blowfin still running for 1 week, 10% cash back and some money gift back on your trading volume. If you go in your activity center on Blowfin, you're gonna see all the details for the deposit bonus and for what you can win. It's not only 80 bucks. You can win like for smaller trader. You can win like 15. You can win 30, I think, if I remember well. And on the smaller picture, we're gonna look at this too with the, I've not looked at order flow yet, actually, before doing that for a mid picture. I want to look at this. This is gonna be pretty interesting if we hold it to its if we hold it to it and we continue for that, for me, this can just be the bullishness in the not the bullishness, but the strength into maybe the short, if we continue this, right? But in reality, if we continue to the upside, I want to see those stable coins maintaining that bearish structure and go for the next reset points. Yep, it's making sense even with this, because if I'm going there, I want to see the to get back above all of this and probably all the order stacks up there. I want to see a lot of people's getting squeezed out. So if I'm saying squeezed out, I want to see that open interest. And particularly when I'm speaking about aggregated, I want to see that open interest stable coins going down. And with definitely this, right? Open interest of coin margin that continue to rise it into it during the time that this is going down. This indicating for me some longs getting in, and more than that. And this indicating that long squeeze. Short. No, 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 no. My bad. Short's good squeeze. So, yep, 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 yep. I think it's really not changing. Nothing's that what we look at, but I have a next little edge to add there with that statement. Yep, yep, yep. I love it. Okay, perfect. Really, for me, it's gonna be this that I'm gonna look. But if I'm really doing like the logic process of thought, that if it's holding, right, it's still the same thing as last week. But if I'm doing really the big logic, if we go to break it, it's gonna be with volume, right? Because we have a lot of volume, and it's rare, unlike Sunday night, that we really go bang for the biggest volume of a whole range. So definitely on the smaller picture there, I'm definitely gonna look for bulls to hold it up. But for me, they really needs to go over 70K, and it's a rounded number, emotional lover number. Um, and if not, to be honest, after that, I don't believe into nothing. So if they broke that, they turn it into resistance. Oh goddamn. You're gonna see me. You're gonna see me even being patient there, depending on what's open interest telling me or whatever. And the retail emotion is gonna start to in those bigger consolidation like down there. It's gonna start to be more and more important for me. Looking at this could be the two right. If we go for it. Hmm. And you guys know, right? Technically, the Y curve, not the Y curve, but the Elliott wave should have been deleted by Twitch, like the last nerd out that we made on it. But we still got the little cheat sheet. Let me open it so you can understand what I'm meaning. But when we normally, develop in 5 wave, normally the 2, if we are in the 2, is gonna be technically 50%, 61.8786 or 886, right? So looking at this cheat sheet and knowing this, right, that's why in this I maybe want this if we want to be bullish, right? At minimum 0.5 or 618, right? But we have more confluence right away between it. We have a good volume, so really those two levels, math levels, even with volumes, gonna be pretty interesting on the bigger picture. Depending on what we do there, right? If we go for the high and we maintain it, we basically just do that, maintaining, and it can be long, right? It can be a bit like we've seen here, right? Just maintaining it, and doing it, and doing it, and at one point, right? Absolutely. But if we maintain it, we push some dominance into Bitcoins. Depending on what's gonna happen, if it's Y curve or if it's maintained and we continue the structure, right? Um, Technically, it's gonna be Bitcoin dominance that's gonna really go crazy, and it's with those Bitcoin profit that I should rotate with a bit of stable coin. Nothing's more crazy, right? because it's, for me, technically on the bigger picture it can be this, right? And yeah, because I need to respect that, because if we are in plan A, there I needed to look at the dollar, I need to look at the stable coin, baby. And yesterday I've started to look a bit more at my DeFi stuff, started to look more at my debt stuff, starting to mentally prepared, like my DeFi stuff, if we go if we really go in a DeFi craziness after it's. I'm gonna look at the dominant stuff too, in couple of minutes. We have times today. That's what I love of those Sunday, Sunday little plans. We prepared. We can ask bunch of questions, looking at couple of things too. My volume profile. Let me delete this one. Let me delete even the fib, so we're gonna see everything's better. The range 3 one was right there, right? We were looking at this old range volumes here. But when we took out value areas, point of control and value area low, when we've break out, so basically we've done that, and we've done that, there's no point for me to look at this, right? Because we are already take out like naked, levels. With the your and we're gonna make even more video about it, but your volume range becomes a bit like a naked points, right? Because the level will never change, right? Contrarily on your anchored volumes, where they always adapt, right? So if, again, I'm using the same things, I'm putting it here because I want to look this old move, like if bulls want to hold it into it, I want to see the bigger, like technically, and we know it, we spend a lot of time seeing big order there. We want to see the bigger volume, bigger bigger volumes holding it, right? And even in terms of times, we have bunch of point of controls lining up in these zones, or time spent, that we can look at it, even if you want after it's on the smaller picture. So yeah, if we go clear that again, because value area low is right there, right? On our 59 59K, my bad. I don't need to look at it again. This is gonna adapt. But if we go for here, for me, I'm believing that we go for those low, So definitely I'm gonna need to look at other things. And if it's in terms of volumes, the next volume is here, right? So that's why in reality, when I'm saying, if we lose the volume range, I'm really gonna be patient, because there it's okay. It can be the reaccumulation, okay. But if we, let me delete this stuff. But if we break it, for me, this is not the reaccumulation. That's gonna be like I don't remember how they call it, the tree drive somethings. They have a patterns in deeper, like Wyckoff stuff, for this type of distribution, where basically is or stairway to hell, right? We call it the stairway to hell. And at one point we just don't clear them anymore until we break down. It's like basically this. Let me find a good one. This one. This is a smaller picture, but we don't go. We don't go. Three drives, we don't go, and bam, we break it. And this is our smaller pictures reaccumulation. Just that on the bigger picture, right? To give us our bigger consolidation, maybe for the rest of the summer. That definitely, it's really gonna be for me, depending on what's happening here and what's gonna happen with FOMC in 2 weeks. Because if I'm expecting Vola there, it's maybe a great day to or a great week, you know, to get the fuck out of this range and finally go back to either, you know, higher levels, so blind levels, new levels, no volumes up there, nothings, or levels to the downside, going back in some volumes, carrying out, and as Miley said earlier, bleeding a bit in the altcoin, you know. Yep, and same thing here. If we go there, I want to see high volumes. If we go low volumes, I'm gonna believe even more in the distribution, where this is our little SOS. Yes, got stopped out for most of them. They're on Bybit and Binance. Yeah, even on Binance, we got most longs from weekend stuff, smaller pictures. Yeah. Still holding. Yep. Okay. I knowing this, I know that this low isn't good and it's Friday, right? Nope. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. My bad. I'm so dumb. It's Saturday, so yep, it's weekend low. Yep, it's definitely even correlating with what we were seeing air. So it's this or either this. We have nothing else. Yep. Yeah. We'll go for the eye and 786, old 75786. We probably just sweep that, but this is good. Just go in this and this last small imbalance there, point of control, then if it's turned into support, it's gonna continue. Or this. If we go for it, it's gonna be this. And if we go there, it's gonna be this that I'm gonna look at. And if we don't maintain, you know, like a smaller picture structure to break through it with volume, it's still gonna be mid picture things. And in this, I'm definitely gonna not fuck myself up with some crazy, you know, pushing it for nothings. If I'm seeing a nice little scalp, I'm gonna take it. And it's gonna depend on the dominance too. If Bitcoins wanna have more dominance too for the week, probably gonna look at it. But if not, gonna probably look at ETH if we don't got some things into ETH to play up. But yep. For dominant stuff, it's gonna be for USDT dominance, you know, same thing at those last week, where we wanna maintain that bearish structure and not really, you know, go for some, you know, like a reaccumulation pattern or whatever, right? Accumulation pattern in the smaller picture. It's gonna be this, and to be honest, nothing's way more complicated for the USDT dominance. If we maintain the bearish structure, we don't go, you know, to retest it and continue. On the big pictures and even mid ones, even if Bitcoin is consolidating, for the rest, I'm probably gonna be a bit more bullish. If we're gonna be a bit more bearish, you know, if we maintain it and we continue. But if not, and if we continue to just go lower and lower, I'm gonna be probably way more bullish depending on what the Bitcoin dominance is doing, right? And if you want to understand why I'm saying this, right, every time that we speak about dominant stuff, it's pretty important to catch up on the where it is. Oh, it's there. Um, it's nice to catch up on the the Discord stuff, the links in the link section. You guys have a cheat sheet that I made for you to understand what I'm meaning, right, when I'm speaking about shitcoins. So yep. For Bitcoin's dominance, I'm gonna be the guy that's gonna be, like this we can delete. That was red plan of a couple weeks ago. I'm definitely gonna be the guy if we still consolidate and we are in the um, higher picture A plan, right? This plan that gonna look for the last rotation in shitcoin that we look at for a couple of weeks now, right? What we post on the Twitter. This, this, right? So we got Bitcoin first dominance that gone crazy, that been distributed by the right path, not in shitcoin, not in ETH, right? And ETH after that distribute and help with Bitcoins to the top tens, right? Mm. So yep, if definitely we are in the A plan here, and this is like a 1 and this is the 2, we are in a 2 right now, and we go for 63k or something. In this, I'm gonna definitely add some nice little retest for those shitcoin, because if we go for it, and it's gonna really depend on Bitcoin, right? Because I want to, during this tree, distribute the profit of Bitcoins in the shitcoin. If we have the proper rotation, right? If we have the proper rotation, and that this continue to flow down, this continue to flow down, this continue, and at one point its dominance give back from Bitcoin's dominance, into the others, the shitcoin. But they need to hold all of this, right? And maintain that bullish structure. Because if they continue for bearishness, gonna need to respect it too, If everything's flying down and finally, bam, we have a god candle on the USDT dominance, I don't want to be surprised, because bam, right away crisis, into Bitcoin, everything's flowing back in the stable because people want to risk less on the whole market, right? Because this even can compare it to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the bigger, but you can compare it to the whole markets, right? Because if they want to go out of the old market and go in stable, they're gonna for most of it, it's gonna go in USDT dominance, right? The most of people that's gonna TP, let's say in futures, or the most amount of people that's gonna TP, like in spot, are TPing in USDT, right? You have still USDC that you can look at. At the beginning, it was this that was helping me to figure out if things was started to flow back a bit more in the DeFi stuff, right? But now that we have the total DeFi, it's really much more what I'm gonna look at, right? So yep. I think for dominant stuff for this week, I'm gonna look at definitely Bitcoin stuff. Nothing more complicated than that. Is it this or this? And it's gonna determine our bias, even with this, if this getting broke, right? Nothing's really more complicated. With dominant stuff, you don't need to complicate it, right? It's math level. Yep, making total sense, actually, even with this. So yep, even this we're gonna cover it on the bigger picture stuff. Really, when we're gonna go deep down into it. I think it's gonna be next Sunday. Yep, next Sunday we're really gonna deep dive into the higher picture stuff and probably much more money flow stuff. Because at the end of the month it's always interesting me to go back on the really higher picture stuff, making sure I'm looking at the great at everything's and it's right time on it. But this is gonna interest me to look at and maybe just that's adding some more confluence, those volumes, all markets volumes, that been traded there with a perfect, like a perfect bear div on the daily. It's everything's that kind of lining up for the little distribution, but maybe something fast. And actually, I want it to not be fast until the end of the summer. So I can be better in options and open real options trades, real crazy options trades for it. But that's just on this. Yep. It's gonna really be on next Sunday that I'm gonna deep dive more for this money flow stuff on the really higher picture stuff. The futures that we've seen, the open interest that we've seen on Binance or whatever was really real. Look at this volume on this move. Same thing correlating with the look at here. And here. Tabarnak de calice d'asti Christ. Right, CVD up, open interest up, longs entering, right, and big ass motherfucking volume. So if we target something, for me it's definitely gonna be the Saturday lows, at first. You want that native point of control? Yeah, that can be great too, right? Then that little golden pocket. The only things it's for me that the people that's gonna be technically trapped here, I want them to close, right? If it's that end puck, I really want them to be closed and not like trying to hold it for the run, So yep. No, I definitely love that naked point of control, golden pocket, right? Holding that. Yep. And especially if it's low volume, right? Especially if we go there, low volumes or whatever. Because you know what it takes to go through that, right? But yep, I'm totally with you on that. That's why I was looking at this, at the beginning, and I was like, even this, is still, like the bigger picture or fake out or whatever. They can print something there and wait for it and faking out again, like before. So yep, I'm gonna respect that value area I for sure. Yeah, that's the why I don't want this, Gurkha, because for the one that nerd out a bit on Wykov, this is like one of the good schematic of Wykov, and that's just telling me that if we go there, we print the schematic again, or whatever the extension, right, and we have like our smaller distribution into our bigger distribution, and all of that can stink. We can either spend a lot of times in it again and just play with it, you know, before going down and confirm the bigger distribution. Or after this, you know, you can just either maintain the structure and go for it. And this will be just, okay, perfect, we're bullish, we're bullish, we're bullish, we're bullish, we're bullish until that we see what we've seen there, right, again. ETH dominance, if it's maintaining, we're gonna cover ETH too. Gonna be the first one that I'm gonna look at. But it's definitely gonna be during the week, it's gonna be ETH that we're gonna stare at. Even if we go lower or higher, if dominance flowing, still flowing into ETH, it can be a rotation that happened, you know, for a couple of weeks. And if it's the proper one, it can be that, you know, it can be that for a couple of weeks. We can see a really ETH becoming stronger and stronger and stronger, and go back for his higher picture level. And then let me look at this. If we go for a lows, yep. But yep, for ETH, pretty nice for ETH if we stay bullish with the dominance and we stay above value areas. Now we are back above the 786 in 1 hour. We cannot go below yet. So probably if we got a bit of vola, you know, with Bitcoin or something like that, it's gonna be interesting. Yep. To know if we hold it and we continue in the ETH dominance. If not, we're gonna need to go back under value areas with some volumes. All of this that bull's gonna need to hold. If not, it can be, you know, like, oh, little fake out, whoop, little fake out, and finally go for it, you know. I don't really care about these smaller pictures in this, right? I'm a bit respecting what I've said last week, right? I don't really care about the smaller picture between those volume nodes. I'm just gonna respect it. Oh yeah, it's turned into support. Or fuck no, it's turned into resistance, you know? And really nothing's more complicated. But on CME, we're gonna try to update that depending if we got a little things that CME can maybe can ring us a bell for the beginning of the week for tomorrow. But yep. You see the naked point of control is kind of lining up good, right, with the zone that we want to make sure to don't break with some volumes, maybe creating a nice little bull bid. Can we? It's gonna be hard for the higher picture, but maybe for the not for the oscillator, but maybe for the aggregated, or even better, your exo. If we go for it, yeah, it's gonna need to go deep, right? And it's 66. From this, it's 67-ish. Okay. So yeah, by the end, we're gonna need some volumes, right? If we look at ETH and we look at Bitcoin dominance on the left, right? Here we've kind of called it the signals of the proper rotation, right? Because it's exactly Bitcoin that been transferred into ETH, right? We've used the proper path from Bitcoin into ETH, into technically the top or the mid cap, and Bitcoin into the top or the mid cap, depending on what's the most liquid pair, right? And into the end, this shitcoin to go back into the, you know, go back into the stablecoin. And when it's go back into stablecoin, it's just because people want to risk less money on the markets, right? And it's kind of normal that we are sitting right there, right? Since 2021 top, 2021 top, that's what we got pulled on the other charts. It's kind of normal to the guy that's been, you know, in stable coins, and that been gifting them back to to the markets, that they want to risk sometimes a bit less, and they risk a bit, you know, taking some profits. If you DCA in, you should into this DCA in the markets, right? Because people in the USDT dominance want to risk less in the market. So technically, you this if you want to go in the market, you DCA in like Bitcoin or whatever, right? And when you want to go out, you DCA out of Bitcoin. So it's a bit kind of the same thing, but the dominance can really like for me help us because it's really difficult to manipulate it. 1 second. PLX is always lagging, but my big picture, my plan A, so what's looking for me the most logic in terms of Elliott right now would have been around, you know, front running the 100K, front running the 100K, and after that go for again a 2 years, you know, of a nice little correction. If it's that, the most like the peak that we can get, if this is bottom of the four, for me the peak that we can get, it's gonna be 167K. If we hit the bottom of it, so we continue for it and we hit the bottom of it, right now, I'm gonna believe into the 135, or again the front run at 100 and before 100. If not, if we really like have like a bigger distribution in this, and we go for a crisis a bit like 2017, and it's the plan B based on Elliott 2, it's gonna be that at minimum 0.5 or 618, or you know, like it can be 786 or 886. So that's why it's all of this green box, you know. And actually it's what I'm preferring, because it's what's gonna give us quickly, or like 500K somethings, you know, Bitcoin, whatever the level it is, you know, the tree is not calculated yet, depending on what's gonna be the one, you know, or what's gonna be the two. But we can already kind of estimated it, right? So actually, I'm way more, and it's not a question of maximalis or whatever, because this is way more LT for the market to do that, to get that, than really continuing right now, you know. And it's gonna be the same thing if we print the you know, like the 97K there, you know. It's just gonna be this, just the updates of this. It's just that we're gonna need to update all level, right? It's still gonna be the plan B it's gonna become the plan A into all of this, when we're gonna technically end up this. Yeah, if we head to 62K, we want quick recovery, otherwise lower is likely. Yeah, professional, exactly. And especially 60 is this zone, brother. Especially this zone. We kind of identify it like that at the beginning of the stream, but it's not really like a point of control zone like that, right? Of the whole range. It's more like you know, like what for me needs to be holded for the beer, right? The 63, 62K. It's gonna be really, really important level. And 63K, we've seen it live, right? We've seen it live altogether, even not only on like volumes level, but in times level. When we've spent time there and put some point of control or some good line in. Let me show you what I'm meaning. You see, time spent in the session, most amount of the time, most amount of the time, most amount of the time of the session. So this zone, this old 63K zone is like, it's it's a pretty important and zone that been lined up with good volumes, right? If you mix times and volumes together, you can tell me there, yes, but there was low volume, so for most of it, so that's why I'm telling 63K, and we've seen it live, and actually this don't lie, right? Compared to like a 62K, right? In terms of volumes. So it's gonna be pretty interesting if we lose that, because for real, Professional, here you remember, I think you were there last week. We were telling like, yeah, we can fight between it, right? And I think it was there that we were having the big guy, like the big orders. I think there, in Binance, that was saying fuck you, the big large limits that was saying fuck you for the whole day to everyone's. Um, but I think the real fight's gonna be here if we go back here. There, it's gonna be like a big ass motherfucking decision point, right? This old between zone, and it's right away the middle of our range, so it's technically where everyone is, and where everyone was, and in majority, right? With the volume, we can see it, but in terms of times, it's there that people have been the most. In terms of volumes, it's more there, right? But sometimes you have big people that can count for a lot of people. So when you look like globally real quick, and after that's on Sunday, since we're gonna look at the higher picture stuff, we're gonna look at like the monthly TPOs. So it's gonna be even better to add our confluence to what we were speaking. And to be honest, in the dominant stuff, if we still have Bitcoin's dominance that's going lower, each dominance that continue to do his stuff, probably it's gonna be this Tuesday and Thursday that we're gonna go even deeper. I just want to make sure that when US coming back Tuesday, it's still their plan with like with ETH. I don't think it's for the week. I'm gonna complicate it even more than that. Or we don't really need to complicate it. If we got that Vola, we got those levels getting out, and same thing as those last week, right? If we blast through a volume level or volume nodes with volumes, I'm not even thinking about the position, right? It can be a long or it can be a short, right? Yes, exactly, professional. But if we do that, that we go and we don't really go for the real volumes node, even that's been like this too close, and I've seen this pattern recognition and volumes so much to change and bring volumes there. It's really gonna be to fuck around and turn it into resistance, and look at this. So you're gonna have chance either to go back here or to see it losing its. Yep, exactly. If they don't go for like the full rotation from a node to another node and change for me like the point of control, because they are so close from each other, it's just gonna be to turn it into resistance, right? Because it's still gonna be there, the point of control. You get what I'm meaning there?
Bumpy.
That's why I prefer the 63K, because it's gonna change point of control of our whole range A. But if we go for the shorts and we want to squeeze the short, remind what I'm saying there. Squeeze. I want to see the stable coin starting to close into them, and seeing the the coin margins going with it. right? Indicating me that, yep, coin margin are going with exactly like that. Exactly the same thing, right? Where we squeeze the shorts and after that they follow. But coin margin are there first and they buying into it. I'm back, baby. Let's go. So yep. In terms of dominance, I think we're kind of set too. We even have a plan for those next Tuesday, even more deeper. And DeFi dominance, I'm definitely gonna look at if we go there and try to turn it into support. To be honest, it's not in a plan, so let me put it blue. It's really just gonna tell me if money can flow, out of ETH a bit and flow in its layer two, the biggest like DeFi players or whatever. Yep. I think, yep, everything is greatly covered. I wanted to take a last look at that if in this little move we got something crazy. But not yet. Took out the 24 there, but not this one. Okay. Yep, we've added up a bit on the 24. So yeah, still gonna be patient in there and looking probably at Asian market. Yep, I think it's gonna be that. Hey, thank you guys to being here today. I'm gonna end it up here. Oh, every times we say we ended up, we got some little vola. It's like that. But yep. Let's see us on Tuesday, right? Where we're gonna look a bit more deeply in the money flow, in the little shitcoins. So if you guys have shitcoin, you can always post it in the Discord, right? But a big thank you to being here today. Shout outs to all of you. Mr. Azenda, Muay Thai, Professional, Magics, everyone that's now asleep. Big love to everyone. Thank you to being here. See you probably in the Discord later tonight. Let's go.